This weekend, Bungie let me play their video game for free, and I thought, hell, why not? It was either this or watching Gordon Ramsay scream at losers all day.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
I played Marathon's open play week, but let's be real, it was more like a pity party for a struggling OnlyFans account. The idea here was to take a regular person like me and walk us through the world of extraction shooters with Marathon as a stepping stone. But for me, it failed. Because I'm a Battlefield guy, and last year was my year. I mean, nothing beat the feeling of jumping on with a squad of friends, buildings coming down on your head, getting your R shot, and everything and anything ends with an explosion. And then there's Marathon. I couldn't tell you anything about what the loadouts meant. I had to understand the loot, I had to understand contracts, all this complicated stuff just to lose to a 12-year-old. I mean, I think the barrier of entry was just too high. But I thought, hey, maybe it's just me not enjoying extraction shooters. But then I did a Google research and holy shit, this game is a disaster. Clearly, Bungie's Save the Game Free Weekend Season 2 launch was a fail, which kind of reminded me of our good friend Elon.
Oh man, it didn't go through.
Servers fell for over 14 hours on State of Play Day, the most important day for a studio who's trying to save their game after taking massive losses. The February server slam brought in about 140k players. Free week peaked at about 40k. Day 2, less than day 1. Free game, wanted people to try, numbers were still meh. Then the store. During the free week, PlayStation players saw that you can buy the deluxe edition for $14. But with no disclaimer whatsoever, it turns out the $14 only bought you skins and not the full game. Bungie eventually had to hand all these people the full game to avoid going against Johnny Depp's lawyer as if they were in court fighting for Amber Turd.
Whether the records, medical records from your EMT were produced in discovery.
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of foundation calls for speculation.
I'm asking.
Overruled if she knows.
Thank you.
Yes.
And this is exactly why people hate live service. Misleading cash grabs, lackluster development effort, and same-ish maps with just small changes. Which makes me ask the question, what are the odds of actually building the next Fortnite or Marvel Rivals? As a publisher, is it still worth it to spend hundreds and millions of dollars anymore? That's what I want to find out today. Boardroom execs, before we get into the numbers, I would like to take a moment of silence for the dead. What great memories we'll never have to make with them. And those were just the big ones. Here, I have a list of all the notable live service fails for over the past 10 years, our list included. 32 of the stinkiest doo-doos you'll have the pleasure of not touching. Now, compare this with our list of survivors. Fortnite, Genshin Impact, Call of Duty Warzone, Apex Legends, Marvel Rivals, and of course, Destiny 2, which was recently shut down for Marathon. Now talk about trading a dove for a raven. 6 out of 32. That's 16% success rate. And that's only the ones that made the list. Zoom out to every live service title that's launched in the past decade, including mid-tier slop, mobile attempts, and the early access stinkers nobody wrote articles about, and the number just gets worse. One industry study found that most live service games released in 2025 lost more than 90% of their players. So, let's do the math of what it costs to actually attempt this. It costs somewhere between $200 to $600 million to create a game, and that's before marketing, live operation, and 3 years of seasonal content you promised in the trailer. Even if you are the 1 in 6, you have to really run far with a project to make it profitable. Arc Raiders, which sold 14 million copies, still lost over 80% of its players within months of launch. Borderlands 4 lost more than 95% from its peak. Even winning in this space means you're kind of losing. And when you lose, who gets affected? Developers, artists, designers, writers, real people with real lives who put so much soul into something, but eventually it's only something that only lasted for 45 days. And when layoffs come, execs get million-dollar packages when everyday people lose their livelihood. And after all that, let's be real, nobody's gonna hire somebody with Concord on their resume. And I want to highlight that I intentionally left Helldivers 2 and Arc Raiders out of the overall conversation because they could be argued to be live service, but they're not built to be predatory. Helldivers 2 was the first ever game to have a game master who literally controls the galactic war in real time, deciding which planets get attacked, waking up in the middle of the night to balance the difficulty so players don't win too easily, and this bloke is calling the shots every day. The war you wake up to fight every day is collective, and every game you play counts. When Steam went down mid-battle once, PlayStation players held the line alone and won with 3 minutes left on a 48-hour event. Today, that battle is down in Helldiver Legends, an epic moment you only get in movies, and players involved will remember that for the rest of their lives. Arc Raiders use machine learning to train how its enemies physically move. Every time you shoot a leg, that is the enemy trying to rebalance itself in real time. On top of that, it was the first extraction shooter that was legit built for everyone, drawing people into the extraction genre who never touched it. A paid $40 game that hit nearly 1 million concurrent players across platforms and grew in its second week instead of declining like everybody else. Players loved it because the studio focused on building a good game first and selling skins last. Studio execs, it's that easy. Stop building a game with monetization first and just build something fun. If Helldivers and Arc Raiders can do it, why can't you? That's my take. Now I want to hear yours. If you're still playing a game on the graveyard list, let me know. Which one do you think is actually worth people's time? And if there's a live service game that I did not mention in the winners list, which one is it? Write it down in the comments. I read every one and try to reply everything. Till next time, guys.